Senior Moments, sponsored by the Empowering Seniors Group on News Talk KVNU, 102 FM and 610 AM.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Senior Moment Show. My name is Bryce Patton. I'm here with my co-host, Sid Roeder. Sid, how are you?
Good morning. I'm doing great. How about you, Bryce?
I'm wonderful. You know, it's been kind of a hectic week, but the sun's been out, so I'm happy.
Oh, yeah, definitely. The sun helps everything.
You know, it's been a little while. School's out for my kids, and so when I get home, it's a little more nuts than it usually is. So, but it's great. Well, I'm excited for our show that we've got going on. But before we dive into our wonderful guests, would you like to introduce our sponsors?
Yes, absolutely. Our sponsor is the Empowering Seniors Group, which is a group of professionals that has dedicated their time and effort to provide information to seniors, their family members, and really everybody who cares or anybody who cares. We do so via this radio show. If you'd like to learn more about the Empowering Seniors Group, you can do so online at empoweringseniors.info, or you can email us at empoweringseniorscv@gmail.com, and the CV stands for Cache Valley. And lastly, if you have any suggestions for this show, anyone you would like to see us invite, you can do so by calling me at 435-512-6406.
You know, you said you were kind of struggling today, but I think you sounded really good on that. So you kind of nailed it.
I think I've done it so many times that, it's just automatic.
It's autopilot. That's excellent. Well, let's get to our guests. We have Dawn Reed. She is the Community Relations Director at Maple Springs in North Logan, as well as Shawnee Kroger, and she is the Director of Nursing. Welcome, guys.
Thank you.
Dawn, would you like to just do a brief overview of Maple Springs and some of the different services you guys offer for the audience out there?
Yeah, absolutely. So at Maple Springs, we do offer several different services. We have our skilled nursing and rehab. We also have assisted living as well as memory care. So we're able to serve a lot of different people with a lot of different needs, and all under the same roof, same administration over both sides or all the areas. So it's really nice to have it all in one place.
Great. And just because I know that some of our listeners sometimes have a hard time differentiating between what you do and what independent living is, maybe you can just dive in for a second what the differences are with assisted living.
Yeah, absolutely. So with assisted living, we have CNAs, certified nursing aides, on the floor 24/7, and they are overseen by Shawnee, our Director of Nursing. With independent living, people, there's generally housekeeping, dining services, but there's not people there in-house to provide cares. So with assisted living, our aides are able to help with, showering, dressing, grooming, helping people get to the restroom, getting up out of chairs, getting up out of bed, just kind of whatever people need help with. So each of our residents in assisted living have a call pendant that they wear, and they can push that button anytime they need help, and our aides will get that call and will head to their rooms.
That's awesome. So you have assisted living and memory care.
Yes.
Is that in the same area, and what's the difference between those two?
So yes, we do have both of them. Memory care is a secure unit. So our unit has 15 rooms. We have 15 residents in our memory care. One difference between assisted living and memory care is that it is a higher staff to resident ratio, and the memory care, we call ours the Lighthouse. It has a big commons area where our residents spend a lot of their day. They are welcome to go to their rooms, but it helps us to keep a closer eye on people. In memory care, we can better anticipate their needs rather than what we call self-directing cares. In assisted living, our residents, need to be able to push their button and call for help, whereas in memory care, at that point, generally, their cognitive function either they don't remember to push that call button for help, or they don't, or they'll just push it continuously because they don't realize what it's for. So that is one big difference is, in assisted living, they tell us what they need versus memory care. We can anticipate that a little bit more and just keep a closer eye on people.
And when you say secured, I assume that's just they're secured so they do not leave that area without the knowledge of someone.
Correct. Yep. It's to prevent wandering, to keep people safe. So the doors are locked. We have, each of our staff have access cards. A lot of the family members that are frequent visitors will have a card, or people can come knock on the door and, be let in. Our residents in memory care do come out to a lot of our activities in assisted living. So it's not, once they move into memory care that they're just stuck in there. We have an outside courtyard that they can go out and utilize. We have our movie theater that there's some regulars from memory care that come out to our movies every day. We bring them out and get ice cream a lot. So they're not just always back in memory care. We have, we take them out and about as well. And but yes, it's to keep people safe and to keep them from wandering.
I imagine that's a big fear of people when they say memory care and it's locked doors is, oh my goodness, they're never going to leave.
Yeah, yep. I actually hear that a lot from families that are touring memory care. It is scary to say it's a locked unit or a secured unit. But families are welcome to still take residents out to meals if they want, or I think we've had a couple that have gone home with families for like a weekend or something, so it's absolutely like they are welcome to come get their loved ones, take them out. Like I said, we bring them out to activities. We had our Kentucky Derby this last week, which was awesome. So we all had big fancy hats on and everybody was outside watching horse racing in our pasture and and stuff. So it can definitely sound scary, but it's not as scary as that sounds.
Yeah,
So.
maybe even just to paraphrase, one could say that it's only as secure as you want it to be, because as long as somebody takes charge and responsibility of your resident, it's fine to leave and go wherever, whether they're inside of the facility or taking the resident outside. As long as someone assumes responsibility, it's just preventing people so they're safe.
Yes. Yep, absolutely. That's a great way to say it.
Perfect. We're already coming up on our first break here. So, Don, I'm going to give you a quick chance to let our listeners know where you're located and maybe a phone number.
Sure. We are at 350 East, 2200 North in North Logan. You can reach us at 435-753-9400. And online we are found at maplespringsLiving.com.
And I know for a fact that you can set up an appointment and have a tour to find out what the facility is about, which is fantastic. This is the Senior Moment Show. Again, I want to remind who our sponsor is, which is the Empowering Seniors Group. If you'd like to learn more about them, you can do so online at empoweringseniors.info or email us at empoweringseniorscv@gmail.com. And the CV stands for Cache Valley. We're going to take a short break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Hi, this is Tyler. Recently, my father passed away, and White Pine provided the funeral services for our family. They were friendly, thoughtful, and attentive to every detail. It isn't often that a loved one passes away, so it was very important to my family that everything be handled just right. Because my dad was loved by so many people, we had a lot of family and friends that traveled from out of town. I really appreciate how White Pine Funeral Services made sure everyone was comfortable and that the focus was where it needed to be, on my dad and my family. They really took care of us during this tender time.
White Pine Funeral Services, here when you need us most.
At Maple Springs Senior Living in North Logan, we understand that entrusting the care of your loved one to someone else is a decision not taken lightly. That's why we go above and beyond to create a nurturing environment where your family becomes our family.
When I found Maple Springs, it was like a weight lifted off my shoulders. The staff here really cares, and Mom is thriving.
The activities and social events have brought so much joy to Dad's life. I can see a positive change every time I visit.
We know that your loved one's well-being is is your top priority, and it's ours too. Learn more at maplespringsLiving.com.
In today's world, we often think it's cheaper to order through the mail, right? In the case of prescriptions, that's not always true. Reed's Pharmacy in Hiram, your locally owned Health Mart pharmacy, is often less expensive than mail order plans. Plus, you can talk to the pharmacist in person or on the phone. Who better to help navigate the confusing world of medicine than the pharmacists at Reed's Pharmacy in Hiram? Reed's trained pharmacists will help you navigate the maze of healthcare. Call 245-DRUG for more information. Health Mart, caring for you and about you.
Did you know 1 in 3 people will visit a nursing home? Did you know that once there, they will stay there for an average of 3 years? Did you also know there are insurance options that can help cover this experience? Hi, I'm Tracy Ferris with Blue Water Health Insurance. It's not cheap to stay in a full-fledged nursing home. Long-term care insurance can help you or a loved one get the care they need and deserve. If you wait until you need it, you may be too late. Give me a call at 435-890-8155.
And welcome back to the Senior Moment Show. My name is Bryce Patton with my co-host Sid Roeder, as well as we have a couple lovely ladies from Maple Springs in North Logan. Dawn, we were talking about tours, and you being the Community Relations Director, are you the one doing the tours?
Yes, I am. We have people that will call and schedule tours. Some people just drop by. I'm generally there, around 9:15, 9 through 5, Monday through Friday. And so people can stop by for a tour anytime. On the weekends, we generally don't necessarily have somebody there that would give tours. So that's one thing to consider. But yeah, I'm happy to give tours, and it takes well, they can be as long or as short as people want them to be, really. I would say most of them are 45 minutes to an hour, but again, some people just want to see a room rather than the whole facility, so it can be pretty quick, actually.
And so is it better if they just drop by, or should they call and schedule an appointment, let you know? What works best?
Either one works just fine. Generally, my schedule is pretty open, and if I'm not available, we do have Shawnee that can show people around. We have our administrator that can show people around, so it really doesn't matter. We just love when people come see us.
Perfect, yeah. And Shawnee is actually kind of here on my request today because I've talked about it on a previous radio show that I'm kind of in the raw position that my parents have to consider doing something and getting some help, maybe some outside help for the start, but assisted living is in the stars for sure. And one of the things in discussion with my parents that came up were some of those fears that seniors have. My mom has dementia, and I think her biggest fear in assisted living is that people are going to take away all independence and just do all the things for her, and that she's going to feel dependent, which she doesn't want. So maybe, Shawnee, you can talk a little bit about those fears and how that looks in reality in assisted living, because I know from my daughter, who is a CNA, that it's not quite like that.
Yeah, no, it's definitely not. In fact, we push super hard to keep everybody as independent as possible for as long as they can. So even if the CNAs are going in to help dress, they're going to encourage, like, can you put your shirt on? Can you? And just be there in case they tip, or, things like that. Like, we always want them to stay at their abilities that they can. And if they're ever getting worse, the nice thing is we always can throw in some home health, some physical therapy, which is nice with the skilled right there, because then they can get that physical therapy help in-house easily as well to keep them independent and mobile. And so those, yeah.
What are the things that your CNAs help out with most then?
Oh.
What do you think?
To be honest, medication administration is probably our number one. I get a lot of people that move in that are still pretty independent, but they're struggling to manage those meds. After that, I feel like the next one would probably be showering. Showering is usually the next one that gets you're in a slippery surface. It's, especially when you start getting a little tipsy, it's harder because a lot of people can find ways to get clothes on by sitting on a bed or leaning against something, and that's harder in a shower. So showering's probably the next biggest thing that comes as people are declining. And then moving on to dressing up to, I mean, we can do everything by getting people like escorting down to meals, if we need to push them in a wheelchair, things like that. We can pretty much do anything as long as they're a one-person assist on assisted living. If it ever gets worse than that, then we have to start looking at moving to skilled nursing or other options there. But
yeah, that was actually one thing I realized with my mom in the shower, is that she needed a little bit of help, even just identifying shampoo and soap and putting it in the right spots. Yes. Because she ended up putting lotion where it didn't belong and wanted to use toothpaste in places that shouldn't go. And so yeah, I mean, do you experience, I mean, obviously that situation is different when your daughter is helping you. How do you experience your patients when they first move in being able to accept a stranger to help?
That, to be honest, sometimes takes weeks of just trying. Like, we do a lot of education with families of knowing, like, we're going to try our best. Memory care is so hard because residents still have the right to refuse. Like, we cannot physically make someone, like, that's probably my hardest thing, is when families come in and they're like, my loved one has not showered for a week, like, I want them in the shower. And I'm like, we are not going to force. Like, we coax, do what we need to, but sometimes it takes a good couple weeks of just that constant, like, having the aides go in multiple times a day to try and help. It does eventually come around. People start routines with memory care is a big thing too. Like, the more we're going in on a regular rate, they just start to get used to the CNAs. It's not so scary anymore, but we just have to be slow and kind and work our way in.
That actually brings me to a follow-up question here, because one of the things I discussed with my sister was that I'm having, because my parents are back in Germany, so I'm having her check with the assisted living facilities if they allow a family member to be present in the beginning, because I'm thinking if I would be able to be there with the CNA and say and kind of do this introduction, this is one of the CNAs and I'll show her how I help you so you get comfortable with her, kind of thing. Is that something you allow and facilitate?
Yes, that's actually, the more family involvement with our memory care, the better things go. There's even some of our residents, we even just have to do a phone call to family and get them on the phone. Because, yeah, some showers are probably the biggest fight, too, in memory care.
I bet.
They always think they've already had one, or they're not letting us do that. But, yeah, sometimes, yes, I've had families that have been very great and faithful at coming in on shower days to be there to make their loved one feel comfortable with letting us help them. And, again, I feel like that's after we've done that for a couple weeks, they start to, oh, okay, you're here, let's go. Like, they don't fight us anymore. But even just phone calls sometimes, letting them talk to them on the phone before we do things helps a ton as well.
So you've been talking about easing them into things. Do you guys do respite care during the day or for a few days to try and ease somebody in that might be moving in?
Unfortunately, we don't do respite care on assisted living. They do that on the skilled nursing. And there's been some people, too, if they're doing a respite on skilled, that I've let them come over to memory during the day to hang out and participate in the activities and things like that to try and get them going. But unfortunately, we don't have a respite.
Okay, we only have 30 seconds, but I need you, Shawnee, to explain what respite is.
Okay, respite quickly is pretty much just you're not moving in, you're just coming to stay for however long. I mean, it can be a week. Some families will even do a respite, like if they're going out of town on a trip and need somewhere for their loved one to go.
Okay, perfect. So it's just a short-term stay to explain that. We are coming up on our second break now. This is the Senior Moment Show. Again, if you'd like information about our sponsor, you can do so at empoweringseniors.info. We're going to take a short break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Did you know that one of the greatest threats to our quality of life is a fall? 1/3 of Americans 65 and older, and 1/2 of those over 80 will fall this year. Many will never be the same again, and some will never return to their homes. This is Bruce at Comfort Care. One of the ways we can help people stay in their home is through our free in-home fall protection survey. Let us help you identify these fall risks. Call us at 754-7676. Comfort Care, 754-7676.
It's tough knowing how to care for an aging parent. Mom has always been there for me, but now I need to be there for her. When we found out she needed surgery, I wondered how I could attend to her needs and still be mom to my kids. I was so relieved to learn about transitional rehab at Maple Springs in North Logan. From the nurses to the physical therapists, it was like their whole staff was focused on helping Mom get better. Maple Springs in North Logan was an answer to my prayers.
Learn more at maplespringsnorthlogan.com or call 753-9400.
Thanks, Mom. Thanks, Dad.
No problem, sweetie.
I can't believe you're able to fit everything in that little sedan.
Bye!
When they move out, you can move on to a house that fits your life. It's time to live in a space that fits your family.
Hi, this is Sid Roeder with Achievement Realty.
Let me help you to find a home that suits your needs and is less to take care of. Save money or even make money on the sale of your current home. Call me today at 512-6406, then list it, sell it, and move on.
And welcome back, everybody, to our Senior Moment Show. My name is Bryce Patton with Sid Roeder. We've been speaking with Dawn and Shawnee from Maple Springs in North Logan. We didn't get to catch your contact information at the end of that one. So, Dawn, would you mind sharing if somebody has questions or wants to come get a tour, where they could find you at and how they can reach you?
Yeah, we are located at 350 East, 2200 North in North Logan. And our phone number is 435-753-9400. And, if people call, they have questions, they usually are directed to me, so you can ask for Dawn. And one question that I have gotten a lot over the years that I've been there is how quickly people can get into Maple Springs. Currently, our wait list is actually really short for our assisted living. Probably you're looking at 1 to 2 months, which is a great improvement from what it's been in the past. Within the last couple months, I was calling people that had been on the wait list for a couple years. So that's really improved. So if anybody is interested in, coming to us sooner than later, it's a good time to come get on that wait list. For memory care, we're looking probably about 6 months right now, which again is a big improvement from where it used to be. So it's a great time to come and check us out.
That is fabulous. So really short on that one, because that's one discussion I've had with my parents too, is when it comes to adapting to a new situation, I always feel that maybe going in a little bit earlier is good advice. What are your thoughts on that?
Absolutely. Yep. I would say it's great to come in before you are in a crisis mode and needing it. I have people that have been on the wait list. Like I said, I was just calling some people that have been on there for 2 years. Some of them are doing great at home, but some of them did need to find, placement sooner. So a lot of people that were on my wait list had gone to other facilities. So with our facility, I think it's a great place, and we have a lot of people that want to come there. So yeah, the sooner the better. It doesn't mean that you have to move in if you get your name on the wait list. I've got people on there that just say, hey, we're still doing great, call us again later. So it's not a commitment or anything like that.
Perfect.
Can I say something about that?
Oh, absolutely.
Also, with just talking about the dementia, people always want to wait until the absolute last moment with their dementia but if you'll get them in when you're starting to see issues, they can adjust a lot easier. And then we don't have the fighting of, I have full-blown dementia, I don't know who anybody is, and you're putting me in this new place. Right. So yeah, if you get if you're noticing that, I would highly suggest getting moved in sooner.
Yeah, agreed. The disorientation gets worse. Another question that I kind of came up in the break is, do you ever, and I think Dawn can answer on that one, do you ever find that people find it easier to adapt if they have friends that live at the assisted living facilities, and does that happen?
Yeah, absolutely. One thing that I've learned in this job is that Cache Valley is such a small world. We've had people that, moved in, and their next door neighbor, they went to second grade with them, and they remembered them from second grade, which was pretty cool and crazy. But we also had a resident just move in about 2 weeks ago that was super nervous about coming. She moved in, and there was a whole table of ladies that had lived in a neighborhood together, as she had lived in their neighborhood, and was so excited to see them. So honestly, I would say that most people there have some kind of connection with another resident. And it's interesting how, there's somewhat of that, when kids go to a new school or things and there's that nervousness, that doesn't necessarily go away just because you're older. Like coming into a new facility, a new situation, they do get really nervous about knowing people and being alone. But we're happy to introduce people to our current residents and, try to make them feel comfortable. But there are so many people that have connections at Maple Springs. It's really neat to see that.
So that brings up a thought in my mind. Do you guys have couples rooms? So if a couple wants to move in together, do you have that capability, or is it just all single rooms?
We have 3 different apartment types. We have studio, 1-bedroom, and 2-bedroom apartments. And any one of them can accommodate a couple. A studio would be kind of cozy, but definitely can fit and has fit before. And then in memory care, they are all studio rooms, but we have had a couple of couples come into memory care before, so it is definitely possible.
That's great. We're already getting to the end here quickly, but I did have one question for Shawnee, because we also talked about the call buttons before, and I just know my mom. If she has to wear something around her neck, she's probably going to rebel and put that elsewhere. How do you introduce that, and how do people get used to keeping that on?
Yeah, so we only have 2 options. There's only the necklace, or we can put like a clip on it, so they can clip it on like a belt or a pocket. We do in the rooms have call lights on the wall, so because bedtime is a hard one, people don't want to wear a necklace while they're sleeping, so we can clip the wall light to the bed so they don't have to wear it. But honestly, it takes one fall without not having their pendant, and they're over that pretty fast.
Oh no.
And then they'll wear it.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's great. Well, sadly, we're coming up here at the end of our show, so maybe one of you would give your phone number one more time in case somebody wants to make an appointment for a walkthrough, because your wait list is so short.
Yes, so I'll give you our phone number. So it's 435-753-9400.
Thank you, Shawnee and Dawn. It was a great joy to have you in today and talk about some of those things that we haven't addressed before, because only me being so raw with my parents made me aware of some of those fears, and we need to do this again. So thanks for coming in, guys. This is the Senior Moment Show. Again, our sponsor is the Empowering Seniors Group. If you'd like to learn more about them, you can do so online at empoweringseniors.info. We're at the end, and we hope you tune in again next week.